Many an Irish person believes that we were wayward, barbaric, and prone to the worst forms of superstition before Patrick, sometime during the 5th century AD. He came to Ireland from Britain and put us all right by banishing the snakes, so we're told. Many believe that since that day the Irish have held true to their Catholic faith. We were told that conversion of the nation was effortless and seamless. In a matter of years, the Irish turned their backs on the ways of their parents and ancestors and turned to the Roman religion. The Irish are said to have taken Christianity with such passion and creative enthusiasm that they set about decorating the land with the symbol of their new faith, the Celtic cross. The honesty and integrity of this history is absolutely not agreed upon, and there are many angles through which it can be examined, but that will be work for another day. For now, we will content ourselves with exploring the cross and its relationship to Ireland and Christianity. Something that becomes glaringly apparent when sieving through Irish history is that there's barely a shared truth regarding anything. The high crosses of Ireland own no exception to this opacity. For example, some claim them to be from the 7th century AD, whereas others make them a century or two younger, whilst others still maintain that these crosses were later stone versions of wooden predecessors. The salient point being that there is no consensus on this. There is, however, one aspect of the crosses that seems to be taken as a given, that they are part of Christian iconography. Christianity, we are told, took a hold in Ireland through Patrick, and with Patrick being placed in the 5th century AD, this gives the crosses a birth year of no earlier than the 5th century, assuming all else to be true, of course. Seeking a source of inspiration for the Celtic cross symbol, its peculiarity demands an origin story after all. Many have claimed the Chi Rho symbol as that influence. Whilst the Chi Rho predates Christianity, with the Greek letters CH or X and or P, we have the word Kr, which gives us Kres or Lord, which then became Christos or Christ. Emperor Constantine would later use this symbol during battle, and its relationship with the new Christian religion would be sealed. The incorporation of pre-Christian iconography into Christianity did not end with the Chi Rho. We also have other pagan pieces of art that appear to foreshadow Christian symbolism. One striking example of this is called the Orpheus Bacchikos. This seal is much argued over due to its clear crucifixion imagery. The wording speaks of a pre-Christian deity, Bacchus or Dionysus, with Orpheus implying the Orphic mystery schools, pre-Christian. Christian apologists, however, argue that this seal cannot be earlier than the modern era. However, there are others who reference the universal use of the cross in justifying a pre-Christian date for this item. Whilst the motif of crucifixion can be argued to be pre-Christian or not, there can be no argument about the use of the symbol of the cross prior to Christ. These examples below are taken from the striking book Symbols, Sex and the Stars by Ernest Busenbark. Many examples of the cross being used in pre-Christian times. Perhaps there are few eyes who would not readily identify the symbol of the cross with the religion of Christianity. The cross is so central to this belief that it is often used as a shape for the churches where this god is celebrated and worshipped. We just seen St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin, and another famous example of this cross-shaped floor plan is in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Outside of Christianity, but consistent with Christianity, we find the floor plan of a Hindu temple. And while this is dated to the 12th century CE current era, this does not preclude this motif being a modern one, or being an ancient one even. Indeed, there are many other temples of a non-Christian origin which are said to have used this cruciform floor plan. With that being said, one of the very oldest is Ireland's very own Brooke na Boyne, the Boyne Valley Tombs, or as most would know it, Newgrange. These sites have been dated to around 3500 BC. Although they may very well be older still. The crux of this being that over 3,000 years before the advent of the Christian religion, the Irish designed and built their passage tombs around the shape of the cross. Perhaps just a coincidence. and if this were the only example, then one could be forgiven for claiming such. However, the cruciform floor plan of these ancient sites is consistent, and this consistency in intention speaks to us and tells us that the Irish had a relationship with the symbol of the cross before any such Catholic or Christian religion claimed it. Simply put, the cross has seemingly always meant something to the Irish people. We just seen Noth, and we have also been gifted with the site of Carrowkeel, which is dated from around 3200 BC to 2500 BC. And in this we see the intended construction of the site around the cross-shaped floor plan yet again. Other sites such as Carrowmore in Sligo or Fornox in Meath demonstrate the same pattern. Many of these sites are not singular in their use of the cross. One of the most striking, however, is Lough Rue. The plan of the passage looks almost exactly like one of the Celtic high crosses we met earlier. Lough Rue, as like others, is dated from around 3300 BC to 3000 BC, almost 5000 years ago, or older. And whilst I have stood this image up on the right hand side, so that the cross appears vertically, I've done so simply to highlight the view of the cross that we've become accustomed to. And so we've seen some of the earliest examples of the use of the cross in human creations, and the Irish clearly had a long-standing relationship with this symbol. They built it into their tombs, their high crosses, and today, in modern times, into their churches. This symbol was long held as important before the importation of the ideas of Christianity, which clung to the cross, came to Ireland. Or perhaps we have that story backward. The point of all of this being that we have established that Christianity adopted symbols, in this case the cross, from pre-Christian thinking and sold it back to the peoples who long used that cross. Clearly the cross held meaning for the Irish before they were told that Jesus carried and died upon it. What that meaning may be, or may have been, will be explored another time. For today I wish you to ask yourself, why have I never been told this, or why was I not told this in school? And why was no attempt, or why has no attempt been made at explaining this? Thank you.